Bob Ross, and thank you so much for joining me today. Now, we actually won't be painting, so we can put up our paintbrushes and continue our show. Welcome back, guys. Thank y'all so much for sticking with me through this whole semester of my online course. I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I have. As we end this course, let's do a little brief self-evaluation and we can overview this course together. How about? Personally, I have enjoyed visual rhetoric course so very much. I have learned so much about this topic, and I really feel like I've learned not only the importance of it, but have recognized it in society, now present day and in the histories. And as we can see this really grow in our communication, we can understand the visual rhetoric that we do. I feel like the most I've enjoyed about this course was our discussions we've had about different theoretical lenses and then explicating that as a whole group. I think we've had really great discussions, and I personally believe that these discussions that we've had have been able to give me a platform to talk about some hard topics that people just don't really like to talk about, but it's important not to forget it, not only the historical principles of it, but as it happens today. And what we're doing again today for our final paper, we're going to be analyzing 3 images in various theoretical lenses and explaining about the story of place. Specifically about Louisiana, our state, our great home state of Louisiana. I love it so very much. I will be choosing 3 images, so stick with me. And I will be choosing some authors from our textbook, Visual Rhetoric, to be explicating these theoretical lenses that I'm talking about. So just stick on with me and let's get on right into it. This first image is of a beautiful Louisiana antebellum home. Specifically, it is the Whitney Plantation Museum. This museum is located in Wallace, Louisiana, and is the very first U.S. museum to truly memorialize slavery in its true form. I have utilized the theoretical lens of vision and subversion in the confrontational aspect of our course with the help of authors Christine Harold and Kevin Michael DeLuca. Specifically with the museum being a living space you can go and tour and see. It really challenges the dominant narratives of slavery we have today. And although slavery is abolished and no one living today lived through slavery, we still see the marginalized groups of the African Americans who were indentured servants. They were able to challenge the historical representations that we have today of slavery, and that we kind of rewrite history in its untrue form, while this museum tries to uncover the true aspects of this gruesome time of slavery. The second image I chose is of the very famous Louis Armstrong playing his trumpet. I used the theoretical lens performance and identity to explain this through the authors of Charles E. Morris III and John M. Sloop in our visual rhetoric textbook. Through this theoretical lens, we see the performance of Louis Armstrong and his jazz music in the 20th century to really refigure the views of jazz music. Now, jazz music originated in the African American community, and during the 20th century was not respected, especially being from a marginalized group and as being its own genre of beautiful music. So through the very famous Louis Armstrong and his accomplishments, we can idealize not only his practices, but we can really celebrate the African American community and respect the form and music that jazz music has, specifically in Louisiana. Alrighty, and my last image I chose is of this 2005 photograph from a rescue that happened during Hurricane Katrina in the New Orleans area. New Orleans majority population is African American, and New Orleans was completely destroyed during this natural disaster. For this theoretical lens, I use memory as a visual process with the authors Janice L. Edwards and Carol K. Wankler to help me in my final paper. Specifically for this image, many individuals who were being flooded by this natural disaster had to go on their roofs and be rescued by Coast Guard and different individuals. And through all this documentation, the photos of the destruction, the photos of rescue, the videos, we can really visualize not only the past, but it preserves the memory of this natural disaster, and it preserves the community effort that we have coming together. Now, being at present day, we did not have slavery, we did not have Jim Crow, but we still had stereotypes, discrimination, and the African American community being a marginalized group. So we really can create our own narrative and substance and move forward together as a community through this natural disaster and utilize our social capital that we have to reconstruct from the Hurricane Katrina. Alrighty, guys, so now we're going to talk about this overall story about place, specifically with Louisiana, through these 3 images that I just explicated. So this overall story that I'm conveying to my readers personally is that Louisiana's history on the societal values and attitudes of the African American community. And through these 3 images of the Whitney Plantation Museum, of the institutional oppression through slavery, through Louis Armstrong celebrating jazz music in the African American community, and through Katrina, specifically in the New Orleans area, and how much destruction and devastation that really produced a community effort to help all of these individuals and the majority population being African American, we can really see this evolution of societal values and attitudes through this community specific to this ethnicity, through these 3 historical images. And it kind of really goes through into what we're talking about in the communication of visual rhetoric. And that was it. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today for our last class session while we explain and overview this course and we talk about that final paper we're talking about. It's very important and very interesting. So I will hopefully see all of y'all next semester for CMST 3167, Rhetoric and Civilization. I will see you next semester. And again, don't forget to paint them happy little trees. Bye.